Welcome to the Central Alabama High School Sports Show podcast, brought to you by Andrew Sports Medicine, Land of Frost, Hamburger Heaven, Huffman Electric, and State Farm.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Snapper Lancaster, welcoming you to another edition of the Central Alabama High School Sports Show. Well, as you can tell, we're in a different location this week, and it's going to be the Homewood Patriots. We'll be visiting with tracksters, both young ladies, young men, a couple of the coaches here, and then finish up our visit with the athletic director. Like we talked about last week, very busy time for the athletes now because you got your basketball players and your wrestlers and indoor tracksters that are jockeying for position, getting in the playoffs. Everybody's looking for those titles. That's why these kids and these athletes go through all that work, is to try to be a state champion, and we're right in the middle of crowning some of them right now. But we're going to take a quick break. We come back, full show ahead of us, a lot of guests. Don't you go away. We'll be right back. You can catch our show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Stitcher, and YouTube. You can also visit us on our social media outlets, Facebook and Twitter. Be sure to like and subscribe to our platforms. If you have an idea for a show topic or would like to be a sponsor, please email us at castvshow321@gmail.com.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
Land of Frost Premium is America's best-selling one-pound deli pouch, now available in 12 delicious flavors, including new flavors of mesquite turkey and cotto salami. High school athletes across the country ask for Land of Frost by name. These great items are available at your local grocer, including Piggly Wiggly, Food Giant, Western supermarkets, and many more. Land of Frost also makes other varieties of lunch meats, including deli shaved bistro and sub sandwich kits. Land of Frost is a proud sponsor of youth sports as well.
At Andrew Sports Medicine, we partner with our patients, trying to help them overcome the obstacles that keep them from achieving their goals.
This practice aggressively pursues victory over injury, over pain, over limitation, over anything that's going to keep you from being the best you can be.
It starts with our non-surgical physicians who are trained in sports medicine, orthopedic injuries. We have specialists in sports medicine with shoulders, elbows, and knees. We have hip specialists that do only hip surgery, including arthroscopy, minimally invasive resurfacing, and total hip replacement if needed. We have joint replacement surgeons. We have spine surgeons. We have surgeons that specialize in foot and ankle surgery and in hand surgery. So just about all the specialties of orthopedics are covered at Andrew Sports Medicine.
What makes the great surgeons great is their volume of experience at making decisions, whether that's intraoperative decisions, post-operative decisions, pre-operative decisions, the decision to operate on somebody or not operate on them. And so our volume here breeds good decision making. That gives us an edge in terms of making decisions for our patients, which ultimately is a lot of times the difference between success and failure. The teams, the players, the parents have confidence in us because they know we're going to communicate with them, we're going to create a plan unique to that athlete or that person, and we're going to get them back to their thing and as quickly and as safely as we can.
At Andrew Sports Medicine, our mission is to partner with our patients and to help them succeed and achieve victory. Whether you're a weekend warrior, a grandparent with a shoulder problem, or a professional athlete, you get the same care, the same high-level technology, the same aggressiveness that we would in a professional athlete, and we treat everyone the same way. None of us like to lose. We're all very competitive, and we're not going to lose against their illness or their injury.
And folks, welcome back. As you can tell, I've got my first guest of the afternoon. Sitting closest to me, the head track coach here, boys and girls, at Homewood High School. And of course, Coach Tom Eslinger. And Coach, good to see you again. It's been a while. And one of his assistants, Josh Donaldson. Coach Dawson, good to see you.
Good to see you.
And as we get this interview underway, first of all, Coach Eslinger, tell us a little bit, for people that might be seeing you for the first time, tell us a little bit about your background and how you've ended up being the head track coach here at Homewood.
Well, I started, I guess it was in my family, really. My dad was a track and cross-country coach for a long time at Homewood High School. And he kind of got me started at an early age, just, developing a love for the sport. And then I was a hurdler, sprinter, jumper in high school, and then in college I did the decathlon. And so pretty much right out of college I ended up getting the job at Homewood. And this is my 14th year here, and I'm thankful to have people like Josh coaching. I actually taught Josh my first year teaching, and he's kind of been here every step of the way, and is our head cross country coach as well, and as associate head coach in track. I mean, he's done a great job, and we've just been blessed to have people like him on staff and these awesome athletes as well.
I tell people all the time, and I talk with young athletes about that too, because you ask them sometimes that they think somewhere down the road they might be interested in coaching. Some of them say yes, most of them say no, I don't think so. But then I throw this in is a lot of times, and I found this out from talking to a lot of coaches, y'all didn't always want to be head coaches. It just ends up that way sometimes. But talking about your background, and you said your dad being in it, was it probably more a thought in your mind that might happen, that might be what you'd want to do?
Honestly, kind of like you said, I resisted it and resisted it and resisted it. I went all the way through pre-med program in college and decided then I switched over to wanting to do law and majored in political science and went to law school, and somehow I couldn't get away from it, and it kind of really almost felt like it was kind of a calling of just like what I was meant to do, but anyway, I'm very thankful for the decision I made. I wouldn't trade it for anything, and that's really because of not only the people I work with, but the kids as well.
And Coach Dawson, tell us a little bit about your background, and is it coaching one of those things you always wanted to do, or did it just happen to get into it, so to speak?
It's very similar to what Coach Eslinger mentioned. I did run at Homewood under Coach Eslinger, and then when I went to college, it was not for coaching or in order to come back into education. It was actually to go to med school, and I was going to take a gap year in between undergrad and med school, and talking with Tom and talking with our superintendent, they kind of convinced me to come back and teach and coach for a year, and that was 7 years ago, and so I've enjoyed it ever since.
Well, good. Now we'll get down to business about this year's team, and track is no different from any other sport. Coaches have youngsters that are around a few years, and then youngsters coming in new every year. But this is the group we're interested in. Coach, tell us a little bit about your track season, indoor season. I guess this is you're in the indoor part now, right?
Well, we just finished up indoor a couple weeks ago. Both the boys and girls won the state championship for the second year in a row, and that's and everybody that you'll see that's being interviewed today is either an individual or a relay state champion at some point in their career, and so impressive group of athletes coming in to be interviewed for sure. And again, we just feel kind of blessed to have such a great group of athletes. This is that was the 16th track and field state championship, and then combine that with the 9 in cross country, that's 25 total. So we feel very fortunate just to be a part of it all.
We're going into this year, because I know I talk with kids and coaches about this all the time. This is the only sport that year-round, so to speak. Usually it's either football season, basketball, baseball, or whatever. Track is all year. Talk about the challenge in that.
Well, and it's for distance runners this year-round. They really, I think they're the most. They have to deal with the grind more than anybody, because cross-country season where they run a 5K is kind of the first season, and then the sprinters, jumpers, throwers, they pick up in the indoor season and with the indoor and the outdoor season, and so it's definitely a challenge, I think, on the mental side of just gearing up for those seasons, and especially I always tell the distance runners, they're the toughest people out there, and maybe, you know, anywhere, just because it really is a year-round commitment, for sure.
And Josh, what if there is one season that you're more into it than the others? What would that be?
I'd have to say, well, being the head cross-country coach, of course,
Right.
distance running is the main season for me. But then also when it comes to track and field, having the different events and being able to coach different things, where you can change from one thing to the next, always kind of, if you get to a point where you're ready to make a move to a different event, you can. Cross-country, of course, is just the one race. So.
Well, now, having said that, now you're getting into the spring season, I guess, and very successful in the winter season. What do you, Coach Dawson, see that this team has a chance to maybe do in the spring part of the year?
I mean, I definitely think that coming off of indoor and also coming off of cross-country, both teams have the chance to be Triple Crown contenders, so winning both cross-country girls and boys, both indoor girls and boys, and then come outdoor season.
I would imagine that doesn't happen often.
That is not.
But having said that, Coach Donaldson, do you have aspirations one day of being a head coach?
I do. Right now, I am very happy with where I am. I think Tom and I work great together. We've worked together now 7 years actually as coaching together. And like he said before that, while I was in college and even in high school, we were always working side by side doing things. And
Coach Islinger, that has to be sometimes a head coach will tell you, I'm only as good as the assistants or the people around me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that has
That's
to be
so true.
Be great consolation for you to know that you got, for lack of a better way, you got a backup behind you that could step in almost any time to do whatever need be, right?
Couldn't do it without him, that's for sure.
When and the time gets away fast, the last question I'll ask you is sort of related to what I was asking Coach Donaldson. Do you see the team maybe just keep on powering through the spring and maybe taking another couple of times?
Yeah, I really do, and I think it's kind of one of the, last year we got 5 out of the 6 titles, which was the best year we had. The only one we didn't get was girls cross country, and I think this would be a historic season if we can get that done. So that's definitely the goal, is to get kind of 6 out of 6.
All right, well, let me tell you this.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to jinx you, okay?
Yeah,
but
I've
never had that happen. I've never had a situation where I had a track coach that they had won all the titles that year. So I'm pulling for you. That's a little extra. I mean, and the kids, I'm sure they feel the same way. This is probably something not many schools have done.
Right. I haven't looked it up yet because I don't want to jinx it. But but maybe if we do it, we'll have to dig through the history books and see exactly how many people.
Well, I tell you what, I'll be pulling for you, and I know you guys will be working hard. It's almost like a little extra motive, really,
yes,
and that for both the girls and guys. But listen, Coach, good to see you again, and
thanks for having us.
Success seems to follow you because you were successful. You were doing well the last time we talked, and it don't seem like you slacked off any. But good luck, and especially, I guess you are like other sports too. Is this the wrong term to use? But it's unfair almost to say you want your kids to peak. It don't seem like they've come off that peak.
Right. Well, we hope not. Yeah.
And you just want to keep going, right? But good to see you.
We appreciate you.
Well, good to see you, and good luck, and maybe you get that 6th peak where you got all of them.
Yes, sir. Thanks so much.
Okay, folks, we'll take a quick break. We come back. Young ladies that have played a tremendous part in the success they've had not only this year, but maybe a year or two behind us, and going for a record. So we'll be looking forward to talking to the girls, see how they feel about it. We'll be right back.
At Andrew Sports Medicine, we partner with our patients, trying to help them overcome the obstacles that keep them from achieving their goals.
This practice aggressively pursues victory over injury, over pain, over limitation, over anything that's going to keep you from being the best you can be.
It starts with our non-surgical physicians who are trained in sports medicine, orthopedic injuries. We have specialists in sports medicine with shoulders, elbows, and knees. We have hip specialists that do only hip surgery, including arthroscopy, minimally invasive resurfacing, and total hip replacement if needed. We have joint replacement surgeons. We have spine surgeons. We have surgeons that specialize in foot and ankle surgery and in hand surgery. So just about all the specialties of orthopedics are covered at Andrews Sports Medicine.
What makes the great surgeons great is their volume of experience at making decisions, whether that's intraoperative decisions, postoperative decisions, preoperative decisions, the decision to operate on somebody or not operate on them. And so our volume here breeds good decision making. That gives us an edge in terms of making decisions for our patients, which ultimately is a lot of times the difference between success and failure. The teams, the players, the parents have confidence in us because they know we're going to communicate with them, we're going to create a plan unique to that athlete or that person, and we're going to get them back to their thing as quickly and as safely as we can.
At Andrews Sports Medicine, our mission is to partner with our patients and to help them succeed and achieve victory. Whether you're a weekend warrior, a grandparent with a shoulder problem, or a professional athlete, you get the same care, the same high-level technology, the same aggressiveness that we would in a professional athlete, and we treat everyone the same way. None of us like to lose. We're all very competitive, and we're not going to lose against their illness or their injury.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say, I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Alan Gurdeau in Trussville today.
And folks, welcome back. As you can tell, I got 4 beautiful young ladies that happen to be outstanding athletes. And girls, I don't want to mess up anybody's name. I don't think I will, though, because I'm going to say Aya Finch, and you're a senior, and you're a jumper. Now, I know jumping, the only thing I can think about is long jump and high jump. Which one is it?
I do the long jump and the triple jump.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yes,
I didn't realize the triple. Now, I'm not out at many track meets. I know what it's like because I used to do it when I was really young, so you know that was a long time ago. All right. So how many years have you been running track?
Since 7th grade, or actually 6th grade, so like 6 years.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Did you participate in any other? I haven't said that. That's almost a dumb question, because it sounds like track would keep you busy all season long, right?
Yes, sir.
So no other sports?
No, sir.
Don't need any other ones, do we? Well, and you've been awfully good at it. Okay, and then sitting next to her, Micaiah Seals?
Yes, sir.
So I got it, right? And Micaiah, you are a sprint hurdler, right?
Yes,
now,
sir.
I know that's 2 different events, sort of. Which do you like the best, the high flying or the high jumping?
Even though I'm still terrified of hurdles, I think hurdles are my favorite.
Really? All right. Now this is a dumb question, but I'm curious. Have you failed much?
Yeah.
Well, now the reason I'm asking that, it would be awfully easy to get an injury tripping over those hurdles. So you've been fortunate; it hadn't cost you anything, right?
My ankle is kind of messed up right now.
No,
so.
no. Well, we shouldn't have said that, because we don't want to give anybody anything. Oh, this girl's hurt.
Yeah.
Well, as long as they think you are, that makes you a winner, right?
Right.
Okay. And sitting next to her, we have Alex Brooks. And Alex, you're a junior and a pole vaulter. Is that, and I hate to ask it this way, don't know any other way to ask it, is that all you do?
Well, yes, in track, but I'm also a lacrosse player. So.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, now you'll be tickled to death about this. I know about lacrosse. So if we ever sat down and had a lacrosse conversation, you would dominate it, okay? But so that's it's an odd combination, but yet one probably helps the other one, especially condition-wise, I suppose.
Yeah.
So what got you into the 2 different sports?
Well, actually, my cousin was a pole vaulter, and so I wanted to try it out too, and so it was just kind of like in the family. And then lacrosse, one of my, in middle school, my 2 best friends, they did it, and so I was like, I'll try it too.
Wow, and lacrosse can be a feisty sport too, physical. more
Yeah.
physical than you think. Okay. And then Edie Smith,
Yes.
a junior distance runner.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
there's having distance runners, that can mean a ton of stuff. So does that mean you run different distances, or do you specialize in one?
Well, for cross country, you have the one distance,
Right.
which is a 5K. And then for track, you can either run really the 800, the mile, and the 3200.
So which ones do you run?
I run all three, kind of. But I didn't used to run the 3200 until this year, so that's pretty recent.
Okay. Which do you enjoy the most, the cross country or the organized running?
I think I enjoy track more than cross country,
Really?
but I know a lot of distance runners prefer cross country because you can focus on that one event.
Yeah, I got a granddaughter that's run cross country at Hewitt Trustful. One of the favorite things I like to ask, I ask guys this a lot, I'll ask you too. What is on your mind when you're running cross country? What do you do? Do you try to stay focused? I know you have to stay focused to a degree on the course, but do you concentrate on who's in front of you, who I've got to catch, or do you concentrate more on just what you can do?
I think I concentrate most on just staying in the race and making sure not to fall back,
Right.
because just running long distances, it's hard to not want to quit. So you just kind of have to find that one thing that'll keep you going.
Huh, okay. Well, now look, girls, before you sat down, I knew two things about you already, okay? One was you're pretty smart, because if you weren't smart in the classroom, you wouldn't make it to the track, would you? No, it don't work. And then the other, that you're great athletes, because the coach just let me know how good y'all are. Now, having said that, a lot of work in the classroom, a lot of work on the track, right? So here's what I'm interested in. I don't want none of that. I want to know, what do you do to unwind in your free time? You have so much of it. In your free time, just to get away from the pressure of the classroom and the track. And we'll start with you, Edie.
I do a variety of things to keep my mind just, everything balanced. I like playing Ultimate Frisbee. I'm actually on a travel team for that, which is really fun because I get to meet people from other schools.
Really?
And then another thing I like doing is I like hiking with my brother and then playing board games with my family.
Okay, that's sort of neat. And that brings me to you, Miss Alex.
Well, in my free time, just to kind of unwind, my main go-to is probably just Netflix. Just go watch Netflix and chill in my bed with a snack.
Okay, we all got to do what we got to do. Micaiah?
I listen to music or yeah, it's okay. I listen to music or I hang out with my teammates just in a non-track setting.
Okay, that's two positive things. And then finally, Aya.
Well, this might seem kind of not away from track, but one thing that I like to do is watch videos of people who do my same events to see how to better my technique.
Really?
And most people might think that's kind of boring just to sit there, but it actually helps.
No. As a matter of fact, it sounds sort of smart. But now here's the one thing that just floors me. Out of all the answers y'all gave, there was one that I thought surely one of these girls is going to say this. I love to go shop. And y'all didn't. So that means to me, y'all are all business. There's going to be plenty of time to shop down the road, right? Okay, now I've got two seniors. Aya, the first one. Where do you hope to go to school? Or are you going to go on a scholarship? Or do you know anything like that right now?
I signed Sanford in November, and I got a track scholarship.
Really? Great. All right. Now, what kind of courses do you take? What would you like to be one day?
Just as Coach D was talking about, or Coach Donaldson, I do want to go to med school, so pre-med.
Oh, really? Well, terrific. And then that brings me to Micaiah.
I signed to UAB for a track scholarship, and I plan on majoring in communications or marketing.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll ask you, I ask guys this all the time, but do you think ever somewhere down the road you might entertain coaching? Really? You thought about that?
Yes, sir.
Really? Okay. That's is that after we do take care of the other business? Okay.
Sure.
Well, I tell you what, girls, I don't know how this works, but I would think it's similar to any other sport. But do you feel like, and we'll start with you, Edie, do you feel like that your best running, you hope, is still ahead of you, because it's got to be there if you try to win all 6, championships?
I mean, of course, that's always what you want to think, because you want to be improving rather than falling back. So. Yeah.
Okay, and how about you, Alex?
I definitely think I can get better as the season progresses. I know there's a lot I can work on.
Yeah, well, here's the thing too. When you're number one, a lot of times, you have to try harder, because there's somebody trying to knock you off, right? And in team sports, and I'm going to ask you a different question, Micaiah, team chemistry, that's very important in a sport. If the chemistry's good, you can be the best you can be, and your teammates will be the best they can be, and you'll be the best you can be as a team. What's the chemistry like for this team?
We're all really close, because at track meets, you're there for like 8 hours, so you have to just be friends with everybody, and we all get along well. Well, I'm glad you said that, because the last question about that I'm going to ask Aya. Now, I know you get along and everything, but do y'all ever get in little hen house struggles with each other, or where things aren't smooth? But do you get over it real quick because that hurts the team? Or do y'all police yourself real well?
I'd say we don't really have as much drama on this team. This is one of the best teams in terms of team chemistry. So yeah, we all get along pretty well. Well, good, because like you said, that helps you be not only the best you can be, but your team can be. Last question. And to this point in your young life, and we'll start with you, Edie, who's been the most inspirational person or persons?
I mean, I think there are so many people that have been inspirational for my life, and that's definitely my coaches, Coach Esslinger, Coach Donaldson, and Coach Kelly and Coach Hope. And then I also think that my parents and my brother have been very inspirational for me. Good for you. Alex? Yeah, family is definitely probably the top, people that inspire me. They're always there at every track meet and, cheering me on all the time. Good. And Micaiah? Yeah, my family, but more specifically my dad, because he was my middle school track coach. Really? Yeah, and so he just really helps me. And that's where you got those work ethics, right? Yes, sir. Okay, and how about you, Aya?
Definitely my family, my mom, my dad, and my brother. Because my dad, he's actually a track official, and he started officiating because, me and my brother were in track, and he is actually pretty passionate about the sport, too.
Well, good. Well, listen, girls, last thought for y'all. We're going for number 6 title, right? Yes. And you can either say y'all are going to win the 5th, the boys the 6th, or vice versa, right? But, girls, awfully nice to meet you. Good luck to you seniors that are heading out into another step of your life, and good luck next year to keep the streak going, okay?
Thank you.
Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We come back, we're going to be visiting with some of the young men that have been just as successful as these young ladies. We'll be right back.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors, a company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. Where at Huffman Electrical Contractors, a satisfied customer is always their #1 objective. And folks, welcome back. And as you can see, I got 4 outstanding young athletes here, gentlemen and champions, and we're going to be visiting with them. And so far, y'all have cleaned the table this year, right, with those championships. Sitting closest to me, Will Stone. Will, like I said, all you guys are senior. You're a distance runner.
Yes, sir.
What do you specialize in a certain distance or run different distances?
Well, cross country, everyone does the 5K, so I mean, I'd say that. But then in track, I'd say I'm more of a 2-miler than like a miler or 800 runner.
Okay, okie dokie. Then Logan Justice, a senior as well, distance runner.
Yes, sir.
And what kind of distances do you run? Now, I know what y'all all do. I mean, I am sort of dumb, but not really stupid in cross country. I know what you guys are doing. But in your other seasons, what are your specialties?
So yeah, in track, 800 mile, 2 mile, and then hopefully I can do pole vault again this year.
Pole vault? Boy, that's throwing a different wrinkle in there. Well, great. All right, and then Eli, you're pole vaulter.
Yes, sir.
Do you do any other events?
Yes, sir. An outdoor, I do javelin as well.
Oh, really?
Yes,
okay. Which one of the two you like the most?
They're both like totally different, but
Right.
they're both so fun. So
Oh, good,
honestly,
good.
I don't know.
And then Jack, you're a distance runner.
Yes, sir.
Do you have a favorite distance?
Probably the 2 mile is my favorite because
Really?
I'm not a super speedy guy, more of a longer distance
Oh,
guy.
okay. All right. Well, that's good. We can't all run like jackrabbits, right?
That's true.
Or sprinters probably sounds better, I guess. But and we'll start with you, Will. Do you participate in any other sport, or this is a year-round sport?
Yes, sir. Not anymore. Before really track started rolling in cross country, I did soccer.
Really?
But in middle school, I stopped. I just committed to just.
Okay,
track and cross
so
country.
what, from about 7th grade on, it's just been
Yes, sir. 8th grade on has been
track
cross country.
Okay. Logan?
Yes, sir. I actually do competitive cheer.
Really?
Yes, sir.
That is challenging in as y'all have to do a bunch of jumping around and that. You ever been injured doing that?
Not significantly.
Well, good, because if it was significant, we wouldn't want to talk about it. That's terrific. Okay, Eli, how about you?
I used to play basketball, but like Will, I switched over in 7th grade.
Okay, because the one thing I've always wondered about you guys with the track is that if you're really dedicated to it, y'all don't have an off season, really. All year long, y'all are doing that, and so that's got to be a challenge. What turned you on into track to start with?
I think honestly just doing it. Like in 7th grade, I played basketball and track, and I think I just fell in love with it and loved it so much more than basketball that I just wanted to do it year round.
Good. And it sounds like you've been on some awfully good teams. Have y'all been all seniors? Have y'all been all on the same group the last 3 or 4 years?
This is only my 2nd year.
Oh, okay, only your second. Okay, but you've gotten some championships in those 2 years too, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How about you, Jack?
I played basketball and soccer growing up because that's kind of what everybody did, but I knew I wanted to be a runner since I was about 5 years old.
Oh,
It's
really?
kind of always been in my
Good.
family.
That's one of those individual sports, really, too. Well, guys, one thing I've always wondered about, and of course, I guess that it would come into play more with the cross country than any other of your running events, but some of them it would still come into it. But what are you thinking up here when you're competing, like when you're like the cross country? What goes through your mind? Is it you don't get to wear anything that has music on it while you're running, do you?
Yes, sir.
No, I didn't think so. But what is it? Where's your mindset? And we'll start with you, Jack. Are you concentrating on exactly what you can do, or do the people around you dictate sometimes what you have to be thinking about?
It's a little of both. On the track, especially on the indoor track, I try to stick to splits. I like hitting like certain times every lap. And then I usually like know the people I'm racing against and try to stay with them and just race people near the end of races instead of looking at the clock.
Through the years like that, the 2 or 3 years racing the same schools, do you end up having people that you look forward to competing against, wanting to beat or whatever?
Oh, definitely. There's definitely rivalries.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
That's a good way to put it. It's a nice way to put it, rivalries. And Eli, how about you?
Yeah, I definitely think with pole vault, since it's kind of like a smaller community, you know, we really get to know the guys, and especially the guys that are in your grade, you know, you're with them for 5 or 6 years, and so you like build really good, I wouldn't even say like competitive friendship. It's just friendships.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like you want everybody to do well.
Okay. Logan, at the beginning of the year, because of those relationships, are there individuals that you look forward to competing against as well?
Yes, there's some great competitors that are right around the same time as I am, and so it poses a great challenge
some rivalries,
for me.
Right? Okay, Will, how about you?
Yeah, I'm the same way. There's, you know, just depends on the meet, but there are a lot of times when everyone from around the state comes together in certain races, and you know that it's going to be fast, and it's just exciting to run against your friends and competitors.
We'll start with you. One of the things that that I wonder about as well, when athletes, I don't care what sport it is, are superstitious and or have a little idiosyncrasies they feel like they have to do to prepare for a meet or a race or an event or whatever. Are you superstitious or do anything have to do some things the same way or what?
Sort of. I have some things like I always eat the same breakfast every day, or on race days I always eat a banana and grab the gold bar. I always like to warm up exactly 1 hour before my race. Just things like that. Just before the race, I don't like to change those up.
Right, and if you don't do it that way, you feel like good. I'm a little.
You feel uneasy.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. Logan, how about you?
Definitely. Morning before race, doesn't matter what or what season I'm in. It's always shower, oatmeal, coffee, and then I have a certain playlist I listen to on the way to the meet.
Really? Oh, okay. Eli?
I think I'm going to go with the stereotypical socks. I wear the same socks for every meet.
Really?
Yeah.
The socks know where the washing machine is.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Right when I get home.
But I was going to say, I've known people that do that in other sports, too. You know, it's just one of those things. Jack, how about you?
Yeah, I wear the same socks. I have blue socks, then blue compression sleeves that come up to my knees, and then blue shoes. And then I take a bite out of a Cliff Bar like 30 minutes before a race. And then always like a couple of strides and like the same stretches right before races.
Yeah, you ain't normal. You know that, right? No,
I'm not. Yeah.
No, I understand that. Well, guys, that's terrific. And we'll start with you, Jack. All of you guys being seniors, where are you off to college? What do you hope to study or be one day?
Yeah, so I'm walking on the cross country and track teams at Rice University in Houston.
Hey, okay.
And I'll be majoring in computer science.
Oh, okay.
So I'm really excited about that.
Eli, how about you?
Yes, sir. I've been offered a scholarship at Lee University, and I want to be a physical therapist.
Really? Okay, so something still to do with sports,
yes,
right?
Sir,
okay.
Sure.
Logan, how about you?
Yeah, I'm walking on at Mississippi State for distance, and then I plan to major in building and construction science.
Oh, okay. All right. Will?
I also have a running scholarship at Lee University, and I'm going to study biochemistry.
Really?
Hopefully go to medical school, maybe.
Yeah, well, I was going to say you was probably hoping to become a track coach one day. That don't look like that's going to fit.
Maybe not. Probably not.
Well, I tell you what, guys. Now, like the coach was talking about, and I didn't realize it. Y'all win this time, and the girls taking all 6 titles. That'd be pretty neat, wouldn't it? Not many people can say that.
Right.
They'll have to start calling y'all Title Town, right? but listen, guys, I wish you all the luck in the world, and hope you have a great spring season. Because you want to top this one off, right?
Yes, sir.
But as we end this conversation, and we'll start with you, Will, tell me to this point in your life who's been the most inspirational person or persons?
I say for people, I'd say my parents. Just I know that seems kind of cliche, but you know they are always the ones that see the stress and anxiety that I feel before races a lot of the times, and then just the emotions after races, and they always make a strong effort to go to all my races, even if they're out of town or whatever. So I'd say them.
Okay, good for you, Logan.
The biggest motivator for me is my teammates. No matter, especially in track and cross country, they rely on you to do your part, and so I've put a lot of pressure on myself to step up to the plate and at least do what they expect of me.
Well, good for you, Eli.
Yeah, I think combine both of them, just the people around me, whether it's my family, my teammates, my friends, or my coaches. just everybody. Like, I want to do my best for them, you know, and it's just, I want to make them proud, you know.
Good for you, Jack.
Probably my dad. He's really taught me how hard work pays off in anything, in work, in school, and running. Like, it's helped me a lot with everything, just having a good work ethic, and yeah.
Well, I tell you what, guys, it sounds like y'all have all had a great background and you've had a great career so far. And boy, what a way to top it off. You know, if you could win again this spring, good luck to you. And all of you being seniors, good luck in whatever endeavors you hit out there in what we call this whole thing real life, okay? All right, we'll take a quick break. We come back. I think we're going to visit with the athletic director a few minutes. Don't you go away. We'll be right back.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm.
Saved $760.
Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Alan Gurdeau in Trussville today.
At Andrews Sports Medicine, we partner with our patients, trying to help them overcome the obstacles that keep them from achieving their goals.
This practice aggressively pursues victory over injury, over pain, over limitation, over anything that's going to keep you from being the best you can be.
It starts with our non-surgical physicians who are trained in sports medicine, orthopedic injuries. We have specialists in sports medicine, with shoulders, elbows, and knees. We have hip specialists that do only hip surgery, including arthroscopy, minimally invasive resurfacing, and total hip replacement if needed. We have joint replacement surgeons. We have spine surgeons. We have surgeons that specialize in foot and ankle surgery and in hand surgery. So just about all the specialties of orthopedics are covered at Andrews Sports Medicine.
What makes the great surgeons great is their volume of experience at making decisions, whether that's intraoperative decisions, post-operative decisions, pre-operative decisions, the decision to operate on somebody or not operate on them. And so our volume here breeds good decision making. That gives us an edge in terms of making decisions for our patients, which ultimately is a lot of times the difference between success and failure. The teams, the players, the parents have confidence in us because they know we're going to communicate with them, we're going to create a plan unique to that athlete or that person, and we're going to get them back to their thing and as quickly and as safely as we can.
At Andrews Sports Medicine, our mission is to partner with our patients and to help them succeed and achieve victory. Whether you're a weekend warrior, a grandparent with a shoulder problem, or a professional athlete, you get the same care, the same high-level technology, the same aggressiveness that we would in a professional athlete, and we treat everyone the same way. None of us like to lose. We're all very competitive, and we're not going to lose against their illness or their injury.
And folks, welcome back. As you see, I got a gentleman sitting next to me that's a pretty important young man in this school. He's athletic director, Doug Gann. And Doug, first of all, as we get this interview started, tell people a little bit about your background and how you've ended up being the AD, because it wasn't always that.
No, I grew up in Homewood, went to Homewood Hall Kent, Homewood Middle School, and Homewood High School. Went to UAB to play baseball and played football on the very first football team at UAB, and started coaching at Berry High School with Coach Finley. I was a freshman coach for a couple years, and then we went to Hoover High School. I was on the varsity staff there. Then I came to Homewood in the fall of 1999, and was assistant football, basketball, baseball. Came the head baseball coach in 2006, and was the head coach for 12 years in baseball, and continued to coach football. And then in the spring of 2016, I was appointed the athletic director here at Homewood.
Well, I was going to say, boy, you've had a busy life with the different sports, and that's got to be an advantage when you take on a position as athletic director.
Well, it's helped. I mean, and the great thing about it is, as far as being athletic director, is when you're doing when I was focusing mainly on football and baseball, I didn't get to see some of these other sports participate and compete, and that's been a really neat thing to see some of these other students, like the young men and women you had on before, seeing those those athletes compete and run and track and cross country, it's just phenomenal to see how hard they work and how successful they've been.
And it would almost seem like it produces a whole different challenge being the athletic director or the director over all the sports as compared to just the one that you would be doing when you were doing that.
Well, that is true. You know, I used to always worry about myself, so to speak, in the baseball program since I was the head coach, and now I'm more concerned about all of them. I worry about all of them, and so that's been different, but it's been a good thing too.
So how many years now is it that you've been AD?
Just 2. I said spring
Okay.
of 16. It was spring of 17 actually when I was appointed athletic director. So I've been doing it basically 2 years this spring.
And what are some of the challenges in that job that have surprised you?
You know, the main thing is just, you know, I try to go to as many different events as I can, and unfortunately I can't be at everything,
Right.
and that kind of sometimes bothers me because I like to be there. I feel like I need to be there, and I enjoy being there. And I've seen a lot of great events in the last 2 years that I would have normally not been able to see. I've been to state tennis meets, swim meets, bowling matches, golf championships, soccer championships. It's been a really neat thing to do the last couple of years.
Has there been anything about your job that has really surprised you or made you wonder, did I do the right thing, or has it just been sort of like a natural progression?
I will say this early. I definitely miss coaching. Definitely miss coaching, but you know, as in this job, there's so much going on that you know, every day I come to work with something new, and I've enjoyed that. And like I said, it's been good to kind of like say do other things and be involved in other parts of the athletic program. And
I think this you can expand on it a little bit, but it seems like maybe time management would be a very important part of your job.
Well, it is, and and obviously I have 3 children, and they do events and try to go see them do their things, and feel like I'm doing the right by my people here in the sports and the coaches here. It takes some time management. You have to plan out where I'm going to be at what time and those kind of things. But I've been a work in progress in that, and I'm getting better at it.
And has there been anything in the short period that you have been doing this that has surprised you or made you think, golly, how am I going to handle this?
Well, I mean, I can't say there are days that I ask a lot of questions, and because I'm new at this, and so I don't know all the things that I need to know yet, and so I ask a lot of questions of people I trust and have been doing it longer than I have, and but you know, like I said, the beauty of this is, you know, when things happen, you know, you just try to make the best decisions possible, and like I said, rely on and talk with different people and go from there.
I know we were talking just a little bit when we first met this afternoon, and you were talking to me about a lot of changes that's going on here at Homewood High School. A lot of it has to do with, I guess, some of your athletic facilities.
Correct.
Or whatever. You want to talk about
Sure.
that a little bit?
We're under a major renovation project, and from the athletic side, we have torn down our field house. It's been here, I think, since 1982, and we're getting one that's twice the size, and it's going to be unbelievable when it's completed. Hopefully by this time next year. We've had, and it's been the thing I'm most proud of with our coaches and our players up to this point is, you know, football was displaced. They're in 2 trailers and locker rooms out there. They've lost their locker room area. Baseball's lost their locker room area. Cross country had to readjust what they did. We did not have a track for indoor track, and they had to adjust what they did. And it did not faze them. We had very successful seasons, and our coaches handled it professionally like I knew they would. Our athletes handled it very well, and didn't let it bother them if they didn't have this or that they were accustomed to having. And like I said, that's been a very rewarding thing to see.
When you go through situations like that, I imagine the main thing that keeps not only the administration, you coaches, and the kids fired up is the fact that everything that is old and done away with is being replaced by new and better that's going to help each and every person here, and no matter what their job is.
And that's true. And like I said, I have a lot of respect for our senior class, especially because their senior year has been disrupted by all the construction type stuff, but it hasn't bothered them one bit. They've just continue to do their thing and succeed, nobody's come to me and say, why this year, why my senior year. It's just, it is what it is, and we have to grow and improve our facilities, and that's what we're doing.
Well, let me ask you this too, as we're near the end of our talk. Did you ever, was it an objective of yours to maybe be AD one day, coaching all those years?
Well, you know, this side of the business, I'll say, the side of athletics has always intrigued me, and I always thought I'd want to do it, but never thought I had the opportunity to do it. And so when the opportunity arose here at Homewood, I said, well, you know, I'm gonna, you know, give it a shot and see what happens. And luckily, it was I got the job, and I haven't regretted it one bit.
All those years that you were preparing for something like this, has it been what you thought it would be? And it looks like maybe you're in an opportunity where you'll be here quite a while.
Well, it's been great, and like I said, it's been. You know, one of the things when I took this job is I know what kind of people. I've worked here with these coaches, and we've got a great group of people to work with, or I wouldn't even try for this job. I think who you work with makes either is going to make your life hard or easy, and they make my life easy because they're outstanding people. Our female coaches, male coaches do a wonderful job with our student athletes, and I'm just proud to be here and be a part of it.
Well, I tell you what, Coach, like I said, we go way back because I know I've had you on some shows in the past as well, and I hope that the future, it looks like it's awfully bright, especially academic-wise too, but the physical aspect of it, there's got to be a lot. It's got to be very rewarding.
It is. Like I said, we've been very successful. You know, I think last year we won more state championships than anybody in the state of Alabama. And this year we're doing another very good job up to this point. And of course, like I said, we never once do we talk about state championships when we're talking with our coaches. You know, we want, you know, our players to have great experiences, our coaches to coach them, you know, do the right thing by our athletes, which they do. And like I said, and the state championships are a byproduct of how hard our coaches and our student athletes work. And like I said, we're real proud of them.
Well, Coach, good to see you again. I wish you continued success because it looks like you're in a good place with a lot of good people around you. I wish you all the luck in the world.
Appreciate it. Thank you for what you do for high school athletics.
And once again, folks, we've had another outstanding show, outstanding coaches, outstanding young athletes. We'll do it again next week. Till then, you know what the Snapper always says, bicycle. You can catch our show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Stitcher, and YouTube. You can also visit us on our social media outlets, Facebook and Twitter. Be sure to like and subscribe to our platforms. If you have an idea for a show topic or would like to be a sponsor, please email us at castvshow321@gmail.com.